everyone, I'm Alex and I'm the hands behind Lovecraft Crochet. My plushies are for the anxious, depressed, autistic, and neurodivergent. Small enough to travel in a purse, backpack, diaper bag, or even your pocket. You can check out my Facebook page or TikTok to see what patterns are available and stay tuned for the new ones coming out. I also make hats, scarves, blankets, and dice bags for the tabletop gamer or dice goblin in your life. Feel free to order through the page, TikTok DMs, or via email at love.craft.crochet@gmail.com. Now, on to the segment.
Urban legends, missing heaven, hookmen coming for you, missing 15 minutes. AJ wrote it, Sammy reads it, Mothman's flying at you, missing 15 minutes.
Normal school hours are generally morning to early afternoon, and in that time, hundreds of voices echo through the halls. The sounds of lockers, of rustling feet, and sometimes a little bit of learning. There's so much sound and movement and just people that there is an inherent unease that comes with seeing the school outside of those hours. In Nigeria, there is madamekoikoi, the spirit of a wicked teacher who died and began haunting the school. Which school is always different, given it's an urban legend, although it seems to mostly come from boarding schools. But AJ didn't research the school systems in Nigeria or Africa as a whole, so maybe that's the most common type of schooling. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
So madamekoikoi. She's a spirit of a vengeful teacher who really hated the kids so much that now she stalks the halls of boarding school in bright red high heels. Koi is actually a...
There's a pause. Should be a period. Koi in between.
Heels and koi.
Yeah. Sam,
Sorry.
You're rushing through. Are you rushing or are you dragging?
We're not doing that.
Why did I just throw a chair at your head?
Alright, so madamekoikoi is the spirit of a vengeful teacher who really hated the kids so much that now she stalks the halls of the boarding school in bright red high heels. Space. Koi is actually, let's see how many takes this tries.
Are you rushing or are you dragging?
I thought it's this angry old Korean woman in Louboutins.
That's basically what I was picturing in my fucking head. I do like, excuse me, you skipped my favorite line that I added in there right before you had to say onomatopoeic.
That is what I said. Onomatopoeic.
So how many takes did that take?
Only one, because the first one was me sounding it out, and that's what I said. And that's with my learning disability.
Sam, you're going to cut this joke.
The sound of her heels clicking against the ground. Koi, clicking heels.
I think it's supposed to sound more like koi, like koi, sort of a thing. It's sort of, in language, it's really interesting to see how different onomatopoeic phrases go. Sort of like how, in Japan, Pikachu is called Pikachu because P, like Pika, is their onomatopoeic sound for zap.
So,
Zapchu.
is it koi like the fish, or is it cookie? Cookie. Because that sounds a whole lot like...
That could also be it.
Vengeful woman with high heels. Cookie.
Are you saying kooky?
Cookie.
Kiki? Are we doing a kiki? Is that how the kids say it?
Alright, anyways. Let's hop over to Japan. Maybe AJ's logic will make sense at that end. Over in Japan, the school system is also a prominent structure, so that there's fantastic number of ghosts, although there's actually a weird amount of toilet ghosts. You got Akumantu, or the Red Cloak, which is allegedly a yokai that will ask anyone who uses a stall if they want red or blue toilet paper, and no answer stops you from being killed. So you either ignore them or say neither and run off, hopefully without your butt showing. Another would be Hakana-san.
Hanako-san.
That's what I just said.
Are you familiar with audio tape?
We're not going to get into audio tape, Nixon.
Rawr.
Alright, Haku-san, who is either the ghost of a bully session gone wrong.
You still skipped a syllable.
First you swapped them, now you skipped them.
Oh, I hate you till right now. Alright, another would be Hako-san.
Hanako-san!
Hanako-san!
Hanako.
Hanako!
San.
San.
Hanako?
Hanako-san.
Thank you.
Hanako-san. Who is either the ghost of a bully session gone wrong, a previous bombing run from Allied forces during World War II, or she was killed by her angry parents at her grades.
It's a pick or choose your own adventure. A lot of yokai, just like a lot of urban legends, just globally, is whatever fits. Like, if it's a school that was around during the 30s and 40s, then it might be, oh, she was killed while in the toilet, hiding from an air raid, or it'll be, if it's a more upper scale school, it'll probably be her strict parents went to kill her because she was not a good student.
Okay. She was awkwardly a fairly possessive ghost compared to most spirits.
Passive.
Passive, sorry.
The word is passive.
Well, we still have
Where's your glasses?
I was about to bring that up. Fairly passive ghost compared to most spirits. You have to actually summon her by going to the third stall of the third floor of a school, knock 3 times, and say, "Are you there, Hanako-san?"
But you only have to knock 2 times. Never mind.
Knock 3.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, all that went through my head was...
Really, all that's going through my head right now is, do you want to share my toity, Harry? She was in the third stall, too.
Well, we can get to Moan and Myrtle.
She may answer yes, and you can open the stall to see a ghost. Some variations have her leaning over the stall to attack, but all of that is its own can of worms, metaphorically.
Again,
What is relevant is the Japanese and really globally heard ghost ball.
Anyways, what I was going to say was, especially with Hanako-san, it really is similar to sort of like how the Slitmouth Woman had so many different nuance. Like, you got the overall, this is what it is, and then there's the nuanced little variations. Where Hanako-san is definitely a lot more Hookman-y, where it's like, it is a, I use air quotes there, it is a ghost, as it is an urban legend, but everything changes depending on who wants to tell the story. Sometimes it'll be, you knock, Hanako-san, are you there? Except in Japanese. And she'll lean over the stall to grab you. Or you just open the door and, look, there's a ghost. Sometimes she's in a red skirt, and I'm not sure why. Like, I'm assuming it's a school uniform thing.
Gotta be.
And then other times she appears in the white, your standard white robe, long black hair. Sorry, anyways, the ghost balls.
Now, this one isn't reflected in any specific yokai and isn't even confined to schools. And not actually located specifically in Japan. AJ, does this actually make sense in your brain?
Yes.
All right. So the ghost ball phenomenon is not the name of a venereal disease. Really, there's not an I in that.
Yeah, I know. It's actually venereal is an EAL. We talked about this when I was
talked
writing.
about this, yeah, but
I thought it was venereal, VENERIAL.
Venereal?
Yeah.
Not venereal.
So the ghost ball phenomenon is not the name of a venereal disease, but when there's an unknown sound of a ball bouncing. Oftentimes it is described as either a hard bouncing of a tennis ball or the reverb that comes off one of those rubber gym balls. You know the sound? You know what that means. Whap! Right to the face.
It's like that weird reverby plastic, not the hard
No, it's the dodgeball. Foop.
dodgeball,
That's actually
kickball.
the term. Foop.
Swoop.
Foop.
Yes.
I was the one that got hit. Foop.
And of course, cycling back to the U.S. and the West, there are these sort of things. The phenomenal...
Do 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 do.
The phantom sounds of doors opening and closing, shadows through doorways. All of these things are sort of standard. I'm sure that if we went to Ukraine or Finland, there would be similar sort of socialite, wiggled outness about schools. So the point I think AJ is trying to say here is that schools are very strange place off hours.
That one might be my writing. It's either supposed to be an off play or a strange place off hours or our strange places off hours. That's on me.
In the U.S., because there's not the same spirituality ingrained in society, it revolves into the scary story mantra and sightly hauntings. In Japan, the ghosts are more confined to areas considered taboo, like the lavatories. Although I'm sure there's other classroom ghosts. And in Nigeria, where larger structures like the boarding schools were and oftentimes are new experiences, and these strange sounds can echo and cause terror. Now, of course, when it comes to urban legends and mythology, AJ really likes skirting the edges about how culture really impacts that sort of thing. There's a universal feeling that comes about that is reflected in the many different school spirits that can all roundabout be very similar. Red shoes clacking down the halls, a ball bouncing, the amount of windows and glass with harsh lighting can create the illusion of shapes in the shadows.
I don't think I had any finishing sentences on that. I didn't know how to end it. Was there more?
No, that's it.
Okay. So yes, this is a general overview of just basic school ghosts. I actually really like madamekoikoi. Well, that makes her sound more like Thai. But it's a universal thing. The reason that there is a logic to the things that I listed. I think you might have figured it out. Where it is, like in the U.S., you have, there are schools, like school-specific spirits. You know what I mean? Like, what is it? Notre Dame has the that football ghost, or university. I can't even remember. It's supposedly this ghost that's a fan of.
Oh, you mean the Phantom of the Opera, dude?
No, that would be the Phantom of the Opera.
No. Where this ghost that goes around and helps the team win.
No, that was Angels in the Outfield. Or Angels in the Infield. I believe that was a sequel.
That was the sequel.
But yeah, it's sort of like, if people see him, he's good luck and stuff like that. I remember hearing about it on Go My Favorite Sports Team and some other ghost stuff. So, but it is one of those things, or like, if a student dies in the school or a teacher you'll always have, Mrs. Smith haunts the hall still. That's why sometimes you hear a locker. You know what I mean? A lot of schools, in the U.S. specifically, just because that's my own focal point of knowledge, will, instead of going how Japan does, which is usually, here's a yokai, let's plug it in, we'll take, here's a person, and we'll plug that personal information onto that air quote ghost.
I can see what you're saying, yeah.
Whereas, like, in Nigeria, because boarding schools, I don't want to make it sound like they're backwater or anything like that. That's why I really didn't want to go into the education system, because then I would have to do massive research on it so I don't feel like a dick. So I'm going to say things that'll make me feel like a dick right now. Where, like, again, boarding schools are a relatively new concept. I'm saying relatively new in that probably the last 100 years.
Excuse me, yeah.
You know what I mean? Once USAID started helping out and other, assistance programs for other, for countries that the West have fucked over, then you saw an up thing. Even Oprah's school.
Yeah.
There was a lot of philanthropy. That's the word I was thinking of.
Philanthropy.
Over the last 100 years that has changed so that more people do get to go to a school that isn't just essentially a one-room schoolhouse. Although there are actually some spirits in one-room schoolhouses that we might talk about later on in life.
Okay.
Because they're not school-specific spirits. That's like, oh, this was seen at a school. Like, there's many different beasts and cryptids sort of things that are seen there. Like, the Beast of Exmoor apparently attacked a school at one point.
Okay.
But, so when you have essentially a Western-style building, where you'll still get the same creepy sounds that we hear when we walk through a school.
Yeah.
Except now you're also in what feels like a new environment completely. It's going to add an extra layer. And since you have a spirituality in Nigeria or even in Japan, then you get that, whatever the hell the sound of a bouncing ball is. It could be a tree branch. We don't have a tree out front. I don't know why I gestured that way anymore. Hitting the roof. Or an animal. Or, you know what I mean? There's many different things. So that can throw everything off, and you don't understand that because maybe you've never had double paned glass or something. So when the wind hits it, it sounds, different. It sounds more poof than single pane. Because all glasses are made out of rattlesnakes, actually. But where you have that, and then over in Japan, like I brought up, you have, again, these yokais that are just evil spirits that idea has been ingrained in their society for so long, but they also really do have a strict education system.
They do.
So it's why you can see a lot more, when people would tell scary stories. Yeah, there are some that's like, this school statue comes alive at night and dances around or something like that.
Yeah.
But then most of the time you have it where the evil ghosts are not actually directly to the classroom or even in the halls, but towards, again, the more taboo areas like the lavatory.
The theater.
And I could have easily brought up, but it really wraps over to the U.S. I actually like thinking, and this is a stupid way to think about it, that Britain is a perfect middle ground between U.S. sensibility towards supernatural spirituality, that paranormal, preternatural stuff.
Yeah.
And the Japan deep end of supernatural and all that. Because you have, like, I know this is a weird thing, because if you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, if you look at a map. No. Japan and the British Isles have a heavy folklore history.
Yes.
True? True.
Very true.
However, because of other religions that have come in, or in and around Europe, Islam, Christianity,
the Greeks, the Romans.
Well, I wasn't even going that far back because it changes up. Christianity really throws off the whole curve of...
Yeah, because then we also got the Vikings and everything, and they weren't Christians.
Well, they weren't. But you see that breaking point there where, because America was founded, I use heavy air quotes here. Oh my God, it's right in front of the camera too. Not the mic.
It's right in front of the camera.
But where Britain and Europe has a history pre-Christian, the U.S. really, while they do have a history pre-Christian, it was the natives.
And we kind of killed them off.
We didn't kill them all. We killed a lot of them and then shipped the rest off to die in the desert. Swamps or deserts, it really depends on which sides of the Rockies we're on at the time. There wasn't a lot of swamps in Arizona. But I blame Mexico for that.
Yeah.
They owned it longer than us. Just saying. Really funny if
so much I have to edit out of this episode.
You don't have to, Sam. This is the banter that people like. So anyways, Andrew Jackson was a fucking asshole president, okay?
Oh yeah, dude, we're not even going to get into Andrew Jackson and how
Anyways,
fucked up he was.
But you understand what I mean, where it's American, the white America, and even integrated America, like, black society as well as Hispanic and all that, was very Christian based.
Yes.
Most black folks that were brought over here, were taught the Bible and all that. Because, when you own people, you want them to pray to your God. It makes you feel better owning someone. So anyways, in America you have this almost hard starting point, which does not have the same folklore variety as Japan or even Britain.
You're not
Which
wrong.
is why I say, and since Japan is, and you could argue that this is anti-Christian, or you know what I mean, or anti-Abrahamic religion, because it is a matter of Japan really still has, it's not the same as it was, obviously, but you still have a heavy spirituality. In, the Britain, and maybe even in like Romania or whatnot, you'll still have that sort of weird spirituality, but there's still a heavy Christian lilt onto it. Whereas you get to Britain, then you've got 14,000 different religions all coming up short with the same historical background. All of this to say, I think the reason I brought up at the very last end, I brought up, here's how American schools do it, here's how Nigerian does it, and here's how Japan does it, is all of them are fairly similar in practice. It's just the specifics that change. Almost a universal urban legend thing. We could compare madamekoikoi or Kiki or
Click, click.
I don't think we're allowed to say click click.
Well, that
Maybe it
got
is
picked up.
Maybe it is supposed to be like a glottal stoppy sound, I didn't actually look at what language
Nigerian?
Sam, here's one thing I've learned about Africa. And I say this lovingly. There's rarely ever a single language for any single...
Okay, you're right. You're right.
But
You're
as far
right.
as the clicking goes, Afrikaans, it sounds a lot like clicking.
Well, and that's why I should have actually looked like... Because they do bring up South Africa, but they also say that it is, expansive throughout, to some variety, throughout pretty much all of, air quote, civilized, unquote, Africa. So you'd have people speaking Tagalog. No, not Tagalog. I know, that's Filipino, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's actually like Swahili. Like there's hundreds of languages.
Yes. It's a large
So
continent.
koi koi could be kuka. It could be kiki. It could be cookie.
Cookie, lend me your comb.
Jesus Christ.
Cookie.
This has gone off the rails.
Yes, this episode has gone off the rails. We are at 28 minutes.
And only 3 of it's good.
I'm Sam Rossi.
And I'm AJ Carey.
Later.
Bye.
on carrying on.
C-A-R-E. Right. Because
Carry on production.